I actually do remember something that happened to me, a disappearing objects phenomenon that I can explain. Now, I got this contract to clean up this factory yard once a month, mow the lawn, trim the bushes, whatever it needed, once a month. So I'm pushing a lawnmower along, and down the back of this company, it was the old plexiglass company, um, and they would bring coal trucks up the hill from the tracks, and they would dump it in a bin. And then after time went on, they put dirt over the tracks to make them disappear, and they grew grass. So I come along with my lawnmower, and it's an old beat up lawnmower, it's all rusted out. I hit part of the track that was under the ground, under the dirt, and I bent the blade. I went over to Culinary Brothers, and he looked at it and he says, "I've never seen a blade like this." I said, "Oh, would it help if I told you I hit a railroad track with it or a tie, and I bent it, and it's evenly bent." So right away he knew what blade I needed, gave me the blade. I put it on the mower, went back the next month or whatever, and I noticed as I'm mowing, the motor's coming loose from the bed. The bed is all, or the deck of the lawnmower is all rusted out. So I have to go to Savage Hardware in Kearney, and I go in there and there's a lawnmower. I just get basic Briggs and Stratton mower. So I pay with my credit card, and he gives me the receipt. Now in those days, they ran the credit card through this machine, a swiper they call it. You move it back and forth, and it embosses your card number up into the paper. And the receipt he gave me was pretty thick, and I folded it. And I folded it. It was folded 3 times, and it's basically the size of your pocket. Now, whenever I get a receipt or change, I always put it in my back left side pocket. That's where I put it. So I get home with the lawnmower, start it up, use it for my property, go in the house, put my hand in to get the receipt, and the receipt's not there. And I'm like, now, where did I lose it? Did I lose it outside while mowing? Did I lose it? So I went back to the store, and we went through the whole thing there, and then I canceled the credit card. And trust me, I went through the pants pockets several times, several dozen times, because I'm fanatical. So I take those pants off and I put them downstairs, and now they're going to get washed. Now, when you wash your own pants, you have to check each pocket and make sure there's nothing in there that could go through the washing machine. You don't want a watch or your keys. That'll create another disappearing objects phenomenon. So go through the pockets, and as I go through the back left pocket, there's the frickin' receipt. Now, I've already canceled the credit card, but there it is. And it's so big when it's folded, there's no way you could miss it putting your hand in the pocket. And I hold the pants up, and I make sure it is the back left pocket. But then I start thinking to myself, I turned the 2 front pockets inside out. And I went, the receipt disappeared, and then the next day reappeared. That's all I can tell you. I can't explain that one away. So I was just outside, and the mailman, I got talking to him. I said, I finally remembered something. So he says he had the same thing happen to him. At first, he said he didn't. I explained what disappearing objects phenomenon was, and he said it happened to him. So anyway, then all of a sudden he said, wait, it did. He said, in order to go skin diving and get on a boat to go out and go skin diving, he had to have a little plastic medallion. And at the where he signed up, they give you this plastic medallion. He opened his fanny bag. He put the medallion in there. It's like a keychain, and he zipped it up. And then when they went down to the boat, the guy says to everybody, "Let me see your medallion." Everybody opens up their fanny bags, their backpacks, their pockets, and they all hold their key thing up. And he can't find his. He's got the fanny bag in front of him. He unzipped it. He took basically everything out of the fanny bag, and he felt it. He went up and down with his hand. All right, so now puts everything back in the fanny bag, and everybody waited for him to go back up to the office and get another one. He comes down to the thing. He shows the guy the thing. He opens his fanny bag up to put it in there, and there's the other one. Okay, so he's laughing. He goes, okay, I do remember something like that happened. And I said, well, I wasn't there with his problem. There could be a flap inside the fanny bag. But I said, with me, it was a pair of dungarees. And I told him, I said, I'm so fanatical and crazy. When I lose something, I can't accept that I've lost it. You know, I was outside walking around where I mowed the lawn, and I went back to the hardware store and asked if they found the receipt. I checked the parking lot, you know, and then the next day when I'm going to wash the pair of pants, they're in the pocket. That I know I checked that pocket at least 15 times. All right, I put my hand in there. I ran my hand up on each side of the front and the back of that pocket. So I do have a disappearing objects phenomenon story that I can't explain. All right. Now, there are people that have emailed me and said that they have furniture that disappears. Well, I can't accept that unless I'm there. Now, if I know you live by yourself and you don't have any weird friends that have keys to your house and they have something wrong with them, and then you come home from work and a piece of your furniture's missing. See, I view that differently. I told the guy, a couple of the people, get a security camera, a little one, and don't tell anybody, because you might tell the guy who's stealing from you that you got a security camera, and then he doesn't do it, and you'll never catch him. So anyway, that's where I'm at. But I did finally remember one case where I know I went through those pants. I probably, it might have been 40, 50 times that one pocket, because I use that same pocket. Even yesterday, I went out for a walk, and when I go for a walk, I try to find something expensive on the ground. The day before, it was a phone at McDonald's outside on the wall. I picked up the phone. I went inside McDonald's for the first time in like 10 years, and I can't believe how it's done inside. This poor woman's got this headset on, and she's doing both the customers inside and outside. And I just said to her, do you have a manager? I went to the front of the line. Do you have a manager? No, I said, I got the cell phone. It's on your property. She just said, I'll put it someplace safe, or I'll put it in the safe. I didn't even care. Once she touched that cell phone, it was out of my head. It was a cell phone and one of them pens with it so you can work the screen. But yesterday, I found $6, you know, a change from a 10. And, you know, sometimes it's a change for a 20. So you got to keep looking, especially if it's a 0, a 1, and a 5. If there could be another a couple bucks if it's changed from a 20. I find this all the time. That's why when I go out walking, I try to find money. But I just want to tell you, yes, I did have an experience that I can't explain. And, you know, I know my hand went in and out of that pocket so many times. And other people have told me the same story. Like, you know, and I'm like, well, I can't accept the story because it didn't happen to me. And I told you, when I was a little kid, I was always good at finding stuff. We went over, my mother's friend Angie went over to where she had a house there. I don't know if she rented or her family owned it, but they knocked it down to build a highway. And now part of the property was still there. And they had an apple orchard there and grapes. And every year she would go over there and she'd harvest the grapes. And she had those baskets. They weren't wicker. Well, anyway, those big vegetable baskets. And we'd go over there and we'd cut grapes. And she laid a blanket down, and she put her car keys on the blanket. And then we had sandwiches. We sat there, and then we, you know, after we got done harvesting the grapes. So then my aunt got up to go back to the car. She realized she didn't have her keys. So what I realized, I had seen her set the keys on the blanket. I said, well, you had the keys on the blanket. So we looked around. So she went out to the car, and then the next door neighbor was one of her relatives that stayed on the property with a new house that they built on that piece of property where they knocked the old house. She went to talk to them. She could call from there to her husband, who he worked about a quarter mile away at Western Electric. Westinghouse? Western Electric? No, Westinghouse. Down near McDonald's there on, that'd be Washington Avenue. But as she's doing, I went back up, and it's an apple orchard, and all these apples are dropping. So I started kicking apples out of the way, and under one of the apples there was a set of keys. See, not only did the keys fall off the blanket, an apple rolled over them. But that's how things get lost. And as a person, I stay with something and it becomes painful. Everything, I'll do that with everything. I might go sit down for a while and calm down. But then I start thinking about it and I get up and I go looking again. And I can always solve it. But that receipt, I canceled my credit card. That's how I remember it. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I canceled my credit card because I didn't know if I had dropped that receipt going out of the Savage Hardware, which is in Kearney. It's on Kearney Avenue. It used to be there. Most hardware stores are gone. But that's where I bought my lawnmower. I was thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? That's where I got that lawnmower. The first lawnmower I used on the business was my dad's. And he had bought it from probably Kmart or something like that way, way back. I think that's it. All right, that's it for now.